We continue now at the top of Daf Gimel Amud Aleph Meseches Chagigah. This is Chagigah Daf 3a. The Bryce over here continues Chayiv b'simcha. Even though in this situation where you have, let's say, somebody who cannot hear but he can speak, or somebody who cannot speak but he can hear, so the halach is they're potter from re'iyah, but nevertheless they're Chayiv b'simcha. That's she'eno lo shomea v'lo medaber. Now, if you have somebody who's a deaf mute, cannot hear and cannot speak, v'shot of a katan, or an imbecile, or somebody who's a minor, peturan af min simcha. In that case, they're potter even from the mitzvah of simcha and the regel. Ho'elu peturan, we call mitzvahs ha'amuras b'torah, since they're potter from all mitzvahs of the Torah. Take a look at Rashi over here. Chayiv b'simcha l'smoach b'chag means to say the chiyuv simcha is there's a chiyuv to have happiness, to rejoice on the holiday. What does it mean, simcha? Simcha means you bring a carbon shlamim, you eat the meat. Learn from a pasuk. Well, the Kaman Parach, the Gemara is going to ask later, why is it that somebody, let's say, who only cannot hear, or only cannot speak, why is he potter from re'iyah, but in terms of simcha, he's going to be chayiv? Somebody who cannot hear or cannot speak, that is the case of a cheresh, a deaf mute in the Mishnah. That's put next to a shot of a katan, like we said on the previous Amud. Whenever it says cheresh together with shot of a katan, then the assumption is that a cheresh is a deaf mute. And the Gemara now says, this is the question Rashi just said. What's the difference that by re'iyah, somebody who is either only can't hear or only cannot speak, their potter, but when it comes to simcha in such a situation, you're chayiv. What's the difference between the two? And the Gemara says, le'inyan re'iyah, gamar re'iyah mehakel. When it comes to re'iyah, comes to the mitzvah of aliyah l'regel, so then we have a gzera shava, the word re'iyah, it says by aliyah l'regel, and it also says it by hakel, because the pasuk says, hakel esa'am, ha'anoshim, va'anoshim, va'ataf, uchsiv, bevo, chol yisrael, liros. Talks about everybody, gather everyone by hakel, the men, women, and children, and it says everyone is going to come liros, it uses the word liros re'iyah. And so therefore we have a gzera shava. And now the Gemara says, v'hasam enolan. And over there, where do we know again that if, let's say, you just can't hear, that you're potter? Because the pasuk says, "Laman yishmu u'laman yilamedu." It says in order that they should listen, in order that they should learn. Betani, we learned in a brayso, "Laman yishmu." What does it mean, "Laman yishmu"? Prat l'medaber ve'ino shomea. When it comes to hakel, if a person can speak but cannot hear, they're not yishmu, they're not listening. U'laman yilmedu. What does it mean, yilmedu? Prat l'shomea ve'ino medaber. When it says yilmedu, that comes to say that somebody who can hear but cannot speak, he's going to be potter. And now the Gemara over here is implying that somebody who's a mute who cannot speak is not able to learn. So the Gemara now asks, L'meimer, does that mean to say Dechilo mishtoi lo gamar, someone who can't speak can't learn? V'ahanu trei ilmi dehave b'shevavusei de Rebbe. But there were these two mutes, they lived in the neighborhood of Rebbe. B'nei Barate de Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada. They were the sons of the daughter of Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada. V'amri, some have the version B'nei Achosei de Rabbi Yochanan. They were the sons of the sister of Rabbi Yochanan. In any case, it says, "Decholemas dehava ayil Rebbe levei midrasha." Anytime that Rebbe would go into the Beis Medrash, hava ayli v'yasvi kamayu. They would go into the Beis Medrash. They would sit in front of him. U'minay d'bereshayu, and they would shake they would nod their heads. U'merachshin savasayu, and their lips would be moving. U'boy Rebbe rachmi olayu, and so Rebbe davened on their behalf. V'itzu, and they were healed. V'eshtakach, and it turned out to have a gemiri hilchasa v'sifra v'sifri v'kulei shas. It turned out that they learned halacha and sifra and sifri and all of shas. So apparently, the fact that they were mute did not impede their learning. And so the Gemara says, Amar Marzutra says, Kari be laman yilamedu. Even though it says yilmedu, but you should actually read it as yilamedu, which means to teach. It means you have to be able to teach in order to be chayiv in the midst of hakel. Therefore, somebody who's mute, who cannot speak, is not going to be included in the obligation. And the Gemara continues, Rav Ashi Amar says, Vadai laman yilameduhu. It has to be that we understand the pasuk to mean yilamedu, that you, in order to teach. Because if you're going to say that the way to read the pasuk is laman yilmedu, and if you're going to assume not like the story of the two mutes, that people who cannot speak are not able to learn, but it doesn't make sense. If they're not able to hear, somebody who's not able to hear is not able to learn, that's all the same thing. So milaman yishmu nafka, you would be able to learn out both from laman yishmu. In other words, if the whole idea over here is that a mute person is not able to learn, Laman Yishmu means that you have to be able to hear. It also means you have to be able to learn. You have to be able to understand. You'd be able to learn out both from Laman Yishmu. So obviously that's not the case. Obviously mute people are able to learn, and we're understanding the pasuk as Laman Yilamedu, and that's why mute people are excluded. They're excluded because they're not able to teach. We'll take a look at Rashi over here. First of all, Rashi says Hilchasa means Mishnayis. And again, Laman Yilamedu ve'in zaroi lelamed acheron. Laman Yilamedu, by hakel, they have to be able to teach. Somebody who's mute is not able to teach. And Rav Ashi Amar Vade Laman Yilamedu, Kilomar Belav Kushi Dahanach Trei Ilmi. Rav Ashi saying, forgetting about the question from the two mutes. Let's say we assume that mute people are not able to learn. But still, you'd still be forced to say that it's being learned from Laman Yilamedu. It can't be learned from Laman Yishmu. Because if it's Yilmedu, it's not Yilamedu, who demash malay, and we're saying that mute people can't learn. Obviously, that means the Tana would be holding that if you can't speak, you can't learn. But the problem is then you don't need Laman Yilmedu. It should all be learned from Laman Yishmu. As Rashi says, V'kevan de lo shama anon sa'adi de lo gomer. Someone who can't hear can't learn either. V'kevan de tana'an Laman Yishmu prat l'medaber. Since we already said Laman Yishmu means to exclude somebody who could speak ve'eno shomea but can't hear. V'anon sa'adi de time mishum de lo gomer. And we understand, we know that not hearing really just means not learning. Shelo yovin kol ma'asha omrim lafanav. The idea is that they're going to go to Hakel or not understanding anything that's being said anyway. So lamali lamahader su Laman Yilmedu. What would we need Laman Yilmedu for? To repeat the exact same lesson. To exclude a mute. Since we've already established that someone who can't speak can't learn according to this understanding, so that person who's a mute would be excluded from Laman Yishmu. So the fact that we need another pasuk shows that a mute person can learn, and he's only being excluded because he can't teach. Obviously, the Tana clearly holds that somebody who cannot speak is able to learn, and is not excluded from Laman Yishmu because they are able to learn. The real exclusion is from teaching, because they're not able to teach. So Rav Ashi is proving you have to darshan the pasuk as Laman Yilamedu, and again the whole point is, now we understand that somebody who's deaf is excluded from Hakel, and somebody who's mute is excluded from Hakel, and from a Gzeira Shava, Re'iyah, that applies to Aliyah L'Regel as well. If you're deaf or mute, you're going to be excluded from the obligation of Aliyah L'Regel. The Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Tanchum says, Cheresh bi'ozno achas pater min Re'iyah. Even somebody who's deaf only in one ear is pater, is not obligated in the mitzvah of Re'iyah, of Aliyah L'Regel. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, bi'oznehem. By Hakel, it says bi'oznehem, in their ears, meaning to say that they're able to hear in both ears. The Gemara continues, is that really what we're going to use bi'oznehem for? Isn't the word bi'ozneim to tell us that it has to be in the ears of all of Klal Yisrael, meaning Hakel has to be done, read, in front of everybody? So the Gemara says, no, ahumi neged kol Yisrael nafka. That comes from another phrase in the pasuk. It says, neged kol Yisrael, he has to be opposite all of Israel. But the Gemara says, imi neged kol Yisrael havamina afa gav de lo shami. If it only said neged kol Yisrael, I might think even if they're not able to hear. Kasav rachmona bi'ozneim v'ud shami. It says bi'ozneim to say that they do have to be able to hear. So the Gemara says, no, ahumi Laman Yishmu nafka. No, the fact that they have to be able to hear, again, that comes from the pasuk of Laman Yishmu. Bi'ozneim is in fact extra, and therefore Bi'ozneim teaches us that if they're deaf even in one ear, they're going to be pater from Hakel, and also pater from Re'iyah. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Tanchum says, Chiger beraglo achas pater min Re'iyah. If a person is lame in one foot, in one leg, in other words, he can walk, but one of his legs is problematic, one is working, so then he's pater also from Aliyah L'Regel. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, regolim, we learn out the regolim, means to say you have to have raglayim, you have to have 2 feet. So the Gemara says, V'regolim iboile prat lebale kabin. But isn't the word regolim to exclude somebody who has artificial legs? So the Gemara says, no, that's from a different pasuk. Ahumi pa'amim nafka. Pasuk also uses the word pa'amim, the times that you go up for the regel, but pa'amim can also mean like footsteps, it can also mean feet. So that tells us you have to have feet that are not artificial. The Tanya, like the Brisa says, pa'amim ein pa'amim el raglayim. The word pa'amim means, it refers to the feet, to the legs. V'cheinu omer, and the pasuk similarly, termasna regel raglayoni, pa meidalim talks about the feet of the oni, the feet of the poor, and the steps of those who are poor. V'yomer ma yafu pa'amayich ben olim bas nediv talks about the steps, ma yafu pa'amayich, your steps, again referring to the feet. And the Gemara continues, Dorash Rava darshans the pasuk we just quoted above. Ma yafu pa'amayich ben olim bas nediv. How beautiful are your steps and the shoes and the sandals, the daughter of the prince. What does that pasuk in Shir Hashira mean? Pasuk means as follows: Kamanoin raglein shel Yisrael b'shosha olin l'regel. How beautiful are the feet of Klal Yisrael when they do the mitzvah of Aliyah l'regel, when they go up to the Beis Hamikdash on the holiday. And Bas Nadiv, what does it mean? The daughter of the prince, Bito shel Avram Avinu. It means the daughter of Avram Avinu, the daughters of Avram Avinu. Shenekra Nadiv. Avram Avinu is called Nadiv. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, Nadivei Amim Nesafu Am Elokei Avram. Talks about the nation of the God of Avram, and it talks about Nadivei Amim, the princes of nations. So you see that Avram is called Nadiv. The Gemara says, Elokei Avram v'lo Elokei Yitzchak v'Yakov. Why is it the God of Avram and not the God of Yitzchak and Yaakov? Ela Elokei Avram shel yatchila legerim. It means to say, the God of Avram. Avram was the first of the converts. The idea over here is that those who convert, they're referred to as Nedivim, as princes, and Avram Avinu was the first of those princes, the first of the Gerim. The Gemara continues, Amar Rav Kahana says, Darish Rav Nasan bar Menyume Mishum Rav Tanchem. Rav Nasan bar Menyume darshans in the name of Rabbi Tanchem. Dichsiv. What does the pasuk mean when it says, V'habor reik ein bo mayim? It says the pit was empty, it had no water. Mimash mashanemar v'habor reik. From the fact that it says that the pit was empty, eini odeya shein bo mayim. Don't I already know it doesn't have water? It's empty, it has no water. Elamayim ein bo, rather what it means to say is it had no water. Avol nechashim v'akrafim yeshbo, but it did have snakes and scorpions. This of course refers to the pit that Yosef HaTzadik was thrown into. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbonon, the rabbis taught, Maisub Rabbi Yochanan ben Brokov, Rabbi Elazar ben Chisma. There's a story with Rabbi Yochanan ben Brokov and Rabbi Elazar ben Chisma. Shehalchu lahakbil pnei Rabbi Yoshua bePekian. They went to greet Rabbi Yoshua in Pekian. Amar Lahem, he said to them, Ma chidush haya beveis hamedrash. What chidush was said in the Beis HaMedrash hayom today? Amar lo, they said to him, Talmidecha anu meimecha anu shosin. We're your students and we drink from your water. We shouldn't be telling you the chidushim. You tell us your chidushim. Amar Lahem, he said to them, Afa pichein, nevertheless, it's impossible that there was a Beis Medrash without a Chiddush. So he said to them, Shabbos shel mi hoisa. Which week? Whose Shabbos was it? Who was giving the lecture? So they said, Shabbos shel Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah hoisa. It was the Shabbos of Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah. Uvamel hoisa agad hayom. He said, what was the lecture on today? Amrulo, they said to him, Beparshas Hakil. He darshaned in Parshas Hakil. Umadarash ba. So he said to them, what drasha did he say in Parshas Hakil? So they said, Hakil asam hanoshim v'anoshim v'ataf. It says you have to gather the people, men, women, and children. If the men come to learn and the women come to listen, taf lama boy, and what are the children coming for? So he said the reason is to give reward for those who bring them. So Amar Lohem, so then Rabbi Yoshua said to them, Margalis tova haisa biyedchem, you had a nice pearl in your hands. Uvikashtem la'avdam imeni, you almost had it, you almost made it that it was lost from me. In other words, you were almost not going to share with me this beautiful chiddush. V'yo darash, and further he darshan that Hashem hem marta hayom v'Hashem hem mircha hayom. Hashem affirms you today, and you affirm Hashem today. What does that mean? Amar Lama Kadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Kadosh Baruch Hu says to Klal Yisrael, Atem asisuni chativa achas ba'olam. You made me one entity, a unique entity in the world. V'ani eschem chativa achas ba'olam. I'm going to make you one entity in the world. Atem asisuni chativa achas ba'olam. You made me one entity in the world. Ichsiv, like the pasuk says, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That Hashem is one. V'ani eschem chativa achas ba'olam. And I'm going to make you one entity in the world, Shenemer, as the pasuk says, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Gimel Amud Beis.